Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Manage Engine EventLog Analyzer online workshop. I'm Shubha, product specialist at Manage Engine IT Security Solutions team. It's a pleasure to have you all. I hope my voice is audible and there is no glitch in viewing my shared screen. Please let me know if you have any difficulties. Today, I'll be discussing on how you can use EventLog Analyzer to centrally collect Windows event log data and how you can create a host group and how you can add multiple Windows hosts using EventLog Analyzer. We'll also be looking at why you need to enable the audit policies and what are the procedure in enabling the audit policies and how to configure advanced audit policy settings. As we all know, network security management doesn't stop with monitoring Windows devices alone. Your network has a lot of resources, including the Linux and Unix servers, network devices, syslog devices, and applications such as the IS web servers, Oracle databases, MS SQL databases, and so on. The list is exhaustive. Stay tuned with us every week to learn the tips and tweaks of collecting, analyzing, and monitoring the log data from all these devices and thereby preventing security breaches. We'll also be looking at the threat intelligence and the best practices to prevent the network intrusions and to detect the network intrusions in our upcoming webinars. As a part of this, next week we'll be discussing on the tips and tweaks to collect and analyze the syslog and application log data using EventLog Analyzer. Today, as I demonstrate on how to configure the Windows devices and how to enable the audit policies, you could also try out the tasks in parallel in your lab test setup. And you can also access our online Azure lab setup. You can access it from http://admp.cloudapp.net and use the port number 8400, and the login credentials are there displaying on the screen. Let's now begin on how to add a Windows host using EventLog Analyzer. To add a Windows host using EventLog Analyzer, navigate to the Host tab and click on the Add Host button. Alternatively, you could also click on the Add drop-down menu at the right top corner of the product and click on Host. This will take you to the Add New Host page. Select the host type as Windows and key in the host name if you know the host name. EventLog Analyzer provides you with two options to add multiple Windows hosts within clicks. Those are Pick Hosts and Import Hosts option. When you want to add multiple Windows hosts that are part of a particular domain or workgroup, you can choose the Pick Host option. When you click on the Pick Host option, it opens a new Pick Host tab wherein you can select the domain as now. Here we are selecting a workshop workgroup, and this will list the hosts in the particular workgroup. You can select individually or you can use the select all option. When you have large number of devices, you can use the search option. Once you are done with selecting it, click on update and this will automatically add the Windows host in the host name field. And when you have a text or CSV file which lists all the Windows devices named, then you can use the import hosts option. Click on the import hosts option. This will open a new tab and click on the choose file button and browse for the file which has the list of Windows devices name and click on open and now click on the import option. This will now display the devices that are in the text file or the CSV file. You can use the select all option or you can even use the search option if you have more number of hosts in the file and then click on the import hosts. This will add the hosts that are listed in the files to the host name. Now, another highlighting feature of EventLog Analyzer is its host group option. And for example, when you say that the hosts that are listed here belong to an application server, and you need to combine all these hosts into a single group to generate specific reports or alert criteria only for these particular hosts, then you can group them using the host group option. By default, EventLog Analyzer provides you with the Windows group and the Unix group. It also provides an option to create your own custom host group from this page itself. To do that, click on the plus option and key in the name, say application servers, and then click on OK. There you go. All the hosts that are listed in the host name are grouped under application servers. Now you can generate specific reports or alert profiles exclusively to this host group called the application servers. And now to add the Windows host, you need to provide the domain name and the domain admin credentials. When you select multiple hosts that belong to the same domain, you need to provide the domain administrator credentials to add those hosts. Let me provide the login name and the password and click on verify login. This will verify the domain admin credentials, and once the credentials are verified, you can just add the Windows host by clicking on the add button. Thus, EventLog Analyzer with simple steps within clicks or within 5 minutes helps you to add multiple Windows devices for monitoring. And now you can click on the save. Now we have added the Windows devices by selecting the host type, providing the name, and utilizing the pick hosts or import hosts option, and grouping all those Windows servers into particular groups, and providing the login credentials, and we have added the Windows devices for monitoring. But now our task doesn't end here. We need to enable the auditing policies in order to optimize your Windows log collection. And let me tell you why configuring the audit policy is very necessary. Configuring audit policies are very important as it records the deviation from normal security policies. The audit logs also gives you the indicators of compromises such as the installation of malicious programs, escalation of privileges, changes on permissions, continuous fail logons, and so on. And when it comes to forensic analysis, they also contain valid information about the breaches, on how it occurred, what systems were affected, and so on, which will help you to contain the breaches as early as possible. But the problem is, by default, all these security events are not automatically audited. The easiest way would be enabling auditing of all security events. But that's not a wise idea. Because if you collect and review audit logs for all security events, the system generates lots of data. It takes up loads of space on your computer, which will eventually decrease the performance of your domain controllers. Further, they also take up the time and effort to analyze the huge amount of log data that is being collected. So, it is better not to audit the events that don't really interest you. So, the key lies in tweaking the audit policies or collecting the audit logs of specific events. For instance, if you need to detect the network intrusions from the log data, you can enable the audit or track the attempts of unauthorized user access or the failed audits. In case if you want to identify the anomalous behavior, then you can configure the audit policies of system events. Now let's take a look at how to tweak the audit policy settings to generate the data that is only important to you. To do that, you can parallelly check up the configuration of audit policies on your system as I do so. So to configure the audit policies, go to Run and key in gpedit.msc. This will open the local Group Policy Editor. Here you go. And click on the computer configuration under the local computer policy and go to the Windows settings and click on the security settings and go to local policies and then click on audit policy. This will list on the right pane. We have 9 different kind of events that is being listed. You can configure either the success, you can configure the auditing by right clicking on the specific event and clicking on properties. Here we can specify whether we need to audit either the success or the failure attempts or both. You can also choose not to audit any of the events by unchecking the success and failure boxes. For example, let me show you, like, we need to audit the privilege use. Click on the event, go to properties, and I need to audit both the success and failure events of audit privilege use. Then check both the success and failure boxes and click on apply and click on OK. Now that we have configured the auditing for privilege use events, you can also further narrow down the auditing of events in each of these 9 categories using the advanced audit policy settings. Let me tell you, the option to configure the advanced audit policy is available from Windows 2008 version and it's not available for the versions that's below this. To do that, to configure the advanced audit policy settings, go to the advanced audit policy configuration on the left pane. Expand it, and then expand the system audit policies. This will list all the 53, this will categorize the 9 events into 53 behaviors. Now, for instance, I need to audit only the non-sensitive privilege use and other privilege use, and I choose not to audit the non-sensitive privilege activities. You can do so with the advanced audit policy configuration. Click on the privilege use. This will list the 3 behaviors under the privilege use. That is the non-sensitive privilege use, other privilege use events, and sensitive privilege use events. You can fine tune it by clicking on each of these events and right clicking it and selecting the properties. Now I choose not to audit the non-sensitive privilege use as they cost a loads amount of data to be dumped into my system. Then right click on it, click on properties. Now that it's already not configured, in case if it is configured, you will see a screen like this, and then you can uncheck the success or failure boxes and uncheck the configure the following audit events and click on apply and then OK. Now under the privilege use events, we have the auditing log data collected for only the sensitive and other privilege use events, and the non-sensitive privilege use events has not been configured. Now that we have successfully added a Windows host for monitoring, and we have also configured the audit policies and advanced audit policy settings, and we have also seen why it is necessary to enable the audit policies. Thank you very much for your time and patience. Next week, Tuesday, we will explore more about configuring and collecting the log data from syslog and application log devices. We'll also dig through log analysis of in-house application log data through custom log parser. Now you can go ahead and check your configuration of audit policies in your machine and let us know if you have any queries. You can type in your queries on the chat and we'll answer you immediately. If you have any queries or concerns regarding the workshop, we'll try to answer them right away. Please key in your queries in the chat option. But do not worry if they are unanswered. I'll ensure that the queries are clarified offline. If you have any specific queries regarding adding a Windows device or configuring the audit policies or tweaking the audit policy configuration, send a mail to our support team, that is support@eventloganalyzer.com. We'll answer you right away. You can also try out adding the Windows devices as demonstrated in your lab setup, and check out the audit policy configuration on your domain controllers and let us know if you need any help in doing so. As I'm answering your queries, I would like to tell you that next week we'll be discussing on the centralized log collection methods of mechanisms, and there we'll be discussing on how to configure the syslog devices and network devices or the Linux or Unix servers. We'll also see on how to import the application log data and how to create a custom fields for in-house application log data. Let me tell you, from next session onwards, you'll have practical sessions, or you can try on a live setups on how to do the or how to configure the syslog devices online. And down the line, we'll also be discussing the more in-depth topics such as threat intelligence and instant network detection, network intrusion detection and prevention mechanisms, and how to optimize your system to find out the security breaches instantly. I'll be available some more time to answer your queries. Thank you for your time and patience. I see that most of you has missed some part of this workshop, but please do not worry. We will be sharing the video of this workshop to all of you and will be available at our support address support@eventloganalyzer.com. Mail your queries or concerns if regarding the workshop or regarding the product to our support email address. As I said, next week we'll be discussing about in depth of configuring the syslog devices and importing application log data, and you'll also be having a hands-on experience to perform all these tasks online on our Azure setup. Thanks again for your time and patience. Have a nice day.